Welcome into the latest episode of the Betting the Pitch podcast. I'm your host, the real underscore G Warner, on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, and on YouTube. And we are doing the League preview late night with the real underscore G Warner. No idea how I'm gonna make it to work tomorrow, but we're gonna make it happen somehow, some way, because Daddy needs some money to throw at League. We had a great year, 50 and 23 last year, 68%. It was awesome. I don't think I did a very good job of promoting this podcast. I'm a little out of practice, but we will make it better for future ones. I promise you that. With that all said, it's time to go through each and every one of the 18 French Ligue 1 teams. I'll go through the offseason moves, maneuvers. We have numbers at Bet Online for odds to win the league without PSG, of course, to win it with PSG, and then the top three finish, which might be more interesting. Nothing relegation yet that I could find, but I will search one more time to make sure that I didn't miss something because that seems to be the best place to get some potential odds and potential winning bets here in French League. Because honestly, as we saw last year, anyone can go down. Montpellier in their 50th anniversary season. Well, see ya. That wasn't so good for them. Same for Saint Etienne, who finally got back to the big time after one of the most historic clubs in France got relegated. But, here we are. Here we will be. And let's go and let's go do it. So I want to make sure I have the right microphone here. Of course, I don't on StreamYard, but maybe that doesn't matter because the big bucks are on Zoom right now. So let's start at the bottom. Angers, a survivor of last season after getting promoted to Ligue 1. Two teams go down each season and two come up. So guaranteed with then I guess third place playoff, third from bottom finisher, which is Saint Etienne. They lost to Football Club de Metz, a yo-yo club in France. So we got some decent clubs coming up, I guess. Lorient back, of course, and Paris FC, which will be very interesting, which we'll get to in a little bit. So Angers, the least valued club according to Transfer Market, at 39.35 million euros. In terms of what they've done in the offseason, that's the biggest question for me on this episode. We have Alexandre Dujeu, who was appointed in 2023, still around as manager. When I look at their arrivals, Hervé Kofi on loan from Lens, Luis Mouton, free transfer from Saint Etienne, and then some younger players getting promoted up. El Malali gone, Aholu gone, Hutunji is gone, Lois Dioni, I don't know that name, and Zinedine Ferhat is also gone. So there's been some talented, bigger names that have been around for a while and playing a bunch of minutes for Angers that are gone. That's a big problem, especially for a club that just recently came up from Ligue 2 2 seasons ago. With that said, Imad Abdelli is still on the roster. Protect him at all costs. And that's probably all I got on Angers. We'll move next to Le Havre. They are worth a little bit more than Angers, considering they're worth just over 40 million euros. Welcome to Farmers League. Not a lot of money to be spared across this area, I guess. And I do have comments. Well, if I see any comments, I'll throw them up there. Anyway, so Le Havre, let's see, there is Didier Deschamps is still there. Came up through the Nice coaching ranks and then took over at Le Havre in July of 2024. Still around at least for another season. In terms of what has happened in their offseason, looks like new arrivals: Namli Seko Samata Diallo, free transfer goalkeeper from Clermont Foot, a starter in League a couple seasons ago. That could be useful. And Godson Kierame, don't know any of these players that have arrived. Departures: Josue Casimir has left for Alger. That seems to be something, as he was a pretty important player. Kuzyaev, a Russian, he'd played in the central midfield. Arthur Dumont is gone, their goalkeeper, clearly probably being filled that gap with more Diallo coming in from Clermont Foot, as already mentioned. Balotore, left back, gone, and Ahmed Hassan. Don't know Hassan very well, but bottom of Ligue 1. Good luck figuring out who's going where and who's going to stick around. So, Football Club de Metz, they are the least valued of the promoted sides after winning that relegation playoff, or the barrages, as it's called in France. Worth a little bit south of 42 million euros. The English Premier League podcast that will be posted probably tomorrow. I did that today. Amazing to see the differences in the values here. So, in terms of the club, Stéphane Le Mignon is still around, appointed July 4th, 2024. So, not a lot of big changes, to say the least. There has been some money spent, or at least Boubacar Traore is on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers in that Premier League, as just mentioned. Jonathan Fisher, goalkeeper, coming in from a club's flag that I don't recognize. That'd be Fredrikstad FK. So that sounds like something likely in Sweden, would be my guess. Jesse Demilguet is coming from Strasbourg. Jean-Philippe Bamin, he is a free transfer. And Georgi Sitsiashvili in from Dynamo Dresden. Nope, actually, that's not correct. That's from Dynamo Kiev, excuse me. So maybe some Georgians are floating all around the French top flight. Departures, Arthur Atta to Udinese for 8 million euros. That's a decent number. Papa Amadou Diallo or Jallo to Norwich City for 5 million euros. Matthew Udol to Racing Club de Lens. Udol is a longtime captain of Metz. Falikande, center back, was I think already playing at Venezia. Arnaud Baudot has left for Lille, backup goalkeeper though, so not a big deal there, I don't think. But there's some moves there for sure that are now gone. I think selling players for a team that's getting promoted, scary. Mets have been pretty good about promoting talent and getting new talent to their roster, but those are some scary things to see right away. Move next to Football Club de Nantes, near around 60 million euros, and they still have their manager returning this season. And that should be, I just want to make sure this is showing up. Actually, they have a new manager. Here we go. Luis Castro coming in instead of Antoine Comboire, who will probably be there when things go south. Yeah, new appointment as July 1st, 2025. Done a lot of selling, so that's a dangerous game. Johan Lempernon is arrived or has arrived from Lyon, though was already, I believe, on loan last season. Yun Suk Hong, loaned from Mainz in the German Bundesliga. Mike Alado, don't know that name. Shidozi Avoisiam, don't know that one. And Amadi Kamara from on loan from looks like Sturm Graz in Austria. In terms of departures, Nathan Zeze, he's gone to Neom SC for 20 million euros. That's a big price, and that is the center back that was playing a fair amount for last season. Moses Simon, he's gone to Paris FC, who recently got promoted to Ligue 1 from Ligue 2, 7 million euros. Douglas Augusto, a central midfielder, gone to Krasnodar in Russia. Pedros Kitavela to Panathinaikos in Greece. And Jean-Charles Castelletto to Al Dual in one of the Saudi, most likely, leagues or something like that. So a lot of expenditures there. Clearly sold a really expensive center back, especially in French football terms. That's a concern. And a new manager coming in. I feel like until Antoine Comboire is back at Nantes, clearly they're going a more offensive direction. You can't be much more defensive than Comboire was. That's a concern for me. We'll move next to Alger, currently valued at nearly 61 million euros, which is a lot considering a side that looked like they were fighting to stay in Ligue 1. Christophe Pellissier is still there, appointed in 2022. Contract goes to 2027, so some stability there. They haven't sold as much as the other clubs. They brought in Ibrahim Osman on loan from Brighton. Josue Casimir, free transfer from Le Havre, who we already talked about. Francisco Sierralta from Watford in the English Championship. Marvin Sanaya, right back from Strasbourg. Usama El Azouzi on loan from Bologna. So they seem to be building through the loan market. In terms of departures, Gaten Perrin gone to Krasnodar, as is Jubal, center back and captain, I believe penalty kick taker too. Florian Aye is gone, has left for 500,000 euros. Mercier, Loic, and Gata, I don't know those names very well. So looks like there's been some additions, mainly through loans or cheap buys. Some of their sells seem fairly important to me, I gotta say. We'll see what they look like without their captain, Zubal, who's left for Russia, center back, and that's not a great setup. Move next to Stade Brestois, who were one of the most impressive teams in the Champions League last season, surprising everyone that they could even get there, and then playing as well as they did. No one had that. If you did have that, you made a lot of money on it. And honestly, Stade Brestois have been great to me the previous season in Ligue 1. So thank you to them. But now they're ranked pretty low 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13th in terms of squad value in Ligue 1. And that tells me that maybe that Champions League money could have been used a little bit more intelligently. They were a very deep squad that had a lot of talented players and a lot of depth, which kept them in the league. But I wouldn't be shocked to see that they have changed that a little bit. Eric Wass still managing, so that's a good thing. They've brought in 20 million euros in player sales, only spent 2 million, so that's why things have gone down. Radoslav Majecki, goalkeeper from Monaco, is in on loan. I think he's better than Philip Cohn. Ludovic Ajorc for 2 million euros, bought from Mainz. He'd been kind of floating around, formerly of Strasbourg, and played in other places as well. Junior Diaz from Estac on loan. Saliu Diop looks like he's been promoted. Departures: Lilian Brassier, 12 million euros, center back to Rennes. Madi Camara also to Rennes for 8 million euros. Those are starters that are gone. Marco Bizot gone to Aston Villa. Their goalkeeper gone. Matthias Perelage, free transfer to St. Pauli in German Bundesliga, and Jordan Amavi without a team. So there's a lot of players from the starting lineups that have been lost, and that's a concern. Though depth was a strength, so we'll see how long that depth sticks around or what that kind of looks like this season. Moving to a slightly more valued Football Club Lorient, who were able to win Ligue 2 last season, and I do like teams that get promoted when they win the lower level league. In terms of very little market movement so far. Olivier Pantaloni is still managing. He was appointed before last season and then kept his job. In terms of arrivals, Abdullah Faye, center back from Bayer Leverkusen, not a name that I'm familiar with, and I follow Leverkusen quite a bit. Jermaine Karim, Arsene Kouassi, no Kariu, Bingoru Kamara. No names that I really know. In terms of departures, they sold a left winger, Johan Kathleen, for 2.8 million euros to Football Club Utrecht, I believe, in Holland. And none of these other names are really that meaningful, though they guess they did lose Julien Laporte to Montpellier, but I don't know that that's really a big deal, I gotta say. Pretty high valuation for a club that just came up from Ligue 2. Paris FC, though, worth about 150,000 more than Lorient. Paris FC, not the Paris Saint-Germain, but another Paris club that has made it to the big time, and we'll see what that rivalry and sort of things looks like. As I wait for this to load in terms of departures and things of that nature, Andy Pembele, that's a name that I've seen before, but only with worth 50,000 euros. Maybe that's a different Pembele. Let's see if I reload this and maybe something will be better and maybe a little bit more useful. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Paris FC, come on. We gotta have better. Gotta have better than this. Okay, so I think I clicked the wrong thing. So the manager, Stéphane Gilly, he's appointed in July of 2023. So he's been around a while. They spent 35 million euros and have sold very little talent. So that's very interesting. As already mentioned, they brought in Moses Simon for 7 million euros from Football Club de Nantes. Otavio coming in from Porto, 17 million euros, center back. Sangui from Stade Reims, Thibaut Desmet, also from Reims. It's about 11 million euros spent there. Departures, really nothing to take note of, and that's very interesting, and we'll see what that ends up looking like. But clearly, a lot of belief in Paris FC. I'm seeing I probably should start talking a little bit of price because it's a betting with podcast show. But in terms of top three finishes, let's see if I can get something here. We're still in the big time long shots with FC Paris at 50 to 1 right now to finish in the top three. So probably not even worth it talking about it just yet. We'll move next to Toulouse, worth 82.15 million euros. Probably didn't need that specific, but here we are. Max Offsen is the latest rumor. Good for him, but he's 24 years old, probably not managing the club. We do have Mr. Martinez still around since 2023, former assistant manager who ended up taking the head job. In terms of arrivals, Santiago Hidalgo, Abu Francis, Mario Sauer, and other names I've never really heard before. Departures, Zakaria Abdulklal, one of the better players, I think became most famous when he played for Morocco in the World Cup. Sold him for 8 million euros to Torino in Italy. Gabriel Suazo gone on a free transfer to Sevilla. I'm not sure how much that matters. Babica gone to Red Star Belgrade. Cesar Gelabert to, I thought, looks like Sporting Gijon in Spain. And Joshua King, free transfer, most likely to somewhere Saudi. Al Khalij FC. Um, Toulouse was really good to me, played to their competition. I thought best against the very talented teams, maybe struggled against better teams they're supposed to be better than, but I kind of like that setup for a good underdog play and probably one of those favorites to potentially fade as well. So potentially a lot of action coming from Toulouse this season. Guillaume Restes, one of the future goalkeeper starters of wherever he chooses to play. I think it's probably most likely France, but looks like he is Ivorian as well. Move next to Racing Club de Lens, one of the best home teams, home environments, and that's something I plan to take advantage of this season. Worth nearly 100 million euros, and they have had an interesting offseason, to say the least. Pierre Salge is around, appointed 2025, did enough to take the job. Done a lot of selling, some buying too. So they have brought in Samson Baidu from Red Bull Salzburg, who I've seen play live in Milan, if I remember correctly. Jeremy Agbonifo, Florian Thauvin, coming back to France from Udinese after a sojourn in Mexico. Martin Satriano, a backup center forward for Inter Milan, and Morgan Guillavogi is coming back to France from St. Pauli. In terms of what they've sold, Kevin Danso to Tottenham, which was already completed. Facundo Medina to Marseille, loan for 2 million, but I think that's probably a purchase. Neil Alyanoui, he is gone to Roma for 23.5 million euros. Anas Zarouri to Panathinaikos, and Frankowski to Galatasaray for 7 million. So those are some pieces missing. They brought in some, but really youth. So I'm pretty interested to see what happens with this team. Still one I want to back at home, and they open with Lyon. Move next to Olympique Gymnastique Club de Nice, worth 172 million euros. So this is where the numbers get pretty significant. Nice are 3-1 odds to finish top three compared to next in line, just Lens at 10-1. So Strasbourg 12-1. Nantes 25-1, though very, very low valuation according to Transfer Market. So Nice, they, as I just mentioned, do open with Toulouse. Frank Heiss came over from Lens, was a manager, a defensive one at that. And then they scored a lot of goals for Nice last season, which I was not really expecting. They've sold a lot, 89 million euros registered, or hit the cash register, only bought about 20. So in terms of arrivals, Jovan Diouf, goalkeeper from Reims in France, Isaac Johnson, or Janssen from Rapid Vienna. Rapid Wien. Jumaba is on loan from Manchester City. He had played at Real Valladolid last season and left mid-year. Pepra Opong coming in for 2.6 million euros, and another name I don't know. Departures, Jean-Claire Todibo, but he was gone to West Ham last season. Evan Gasson to Aston Villa. Marcin Bulka, the goalkeeper, he's gone. He gone. Gaten Laborde, famous name, and Mattia Viti on loan to Fiorentina. So a fair amount of players lost there, especially the money registered. But honestly, Taibo was already gone, so you can slash those sales in half, which does interest me a little bit. Move next to Olympique de Lyon, worth about 12 million euros more. Currently to finish top three, they're plus 250. Have a lot of motivation after nearly getting relegated to Ligue 2 due to financial problems, but they're still in the league. Paulo Fonseca still manager despite a long, long ban for getting in a referee's face. Not great. Sold a lot because they had to. Brought in about surplus of 42 million euros to the sale direction, but still spent about 31.5 million. Top arrivals: Pavel Sush from Victoria Plzeň, excuse me, in Czech Republic or Czechia, and honestly, great talent. Like him a lot, especially playing for the Czech national team. Tyler Morton, defensive midfielder from Liverpool. Matt Turner, goalkeeper, United States International. Adam Karabek from SC Sparta Prague, and then Ruben Kluivert, likely of the Kluivert family, it seems. Departures: sold Ryan Cherki for 36.5 million euros to Manchester City. Lucas Perry, their goalkeeper, to Leeds. Said Benrahma, but he's honestly been kind of in and out. Duje Saleta Sar to Real Sociedad for 500,000 euros, and Alexander Lacazette also gone. So some big pieces moving, some good talented ones, especially two Czechians coming in, which is interesting to me. We'll see what that means for this squad and what they look like. Always filled with talent, but without Lacazette, I do question a little bit of the leadership. Move next to Lille, worth about 20 million euros more. Were great to start Champions League, kind of ran out of steam in terms of, I guess, what they're looking for. So Bruno Genesio is still there. He was pretty impressive, I must say, last season. We'll see if we can keep that going. They've sold a lot of players, though, which is what they do, but that's still something to think about. In terms of names that they've brought in, I know left back Romain Parot from former French player had been at Real Betis, not really playing all the time. Other names I don't really know. They've sold Jonathan David on a free transfer, or I guess no selling there. Lucas Chevalier, a future French number one goalkeeper. He's at Paris Saint-Germain. Bafode Diakite, I think, just broke, gets sold to Bournemouth. Angel Gomes to Olympique de Marseille. Gabriel Gudmundsson to Leeds United in the English Premier League now. So that's a lot of deals. I think Jonathan David was pretty overrated, though. I'm not so concerned about those moves. Lille are plus 150 to finish top three. So I guess the least expensive, the least plus money of all the teams that are odds off to finish top three. We'll move next to Stade Rennais, who are worth a little bit more, a couple million more euros than Lille, but certainly have not had the incredible luck in doing anything in Europe. Habib Bey came on last season, January 30th, and was great installing a defense. They've bought 41 million euros worth of players, but sold 57. So that's a pretty big difference there, or at least going the wrong direction for trying to build a club. Arrivals: Marlon from Marseille, Lilian Brassier from Stade Bestral, already mentioned. Rongier, also from Marseille. Camara from Stade Brestois, alongside his teammate Lilian Brassier. And then Frankowski coming in on loan, I guess, from Galatasaray after he was bought. Departures: Truffert to Bournemouth, Ansignon to Stuttgart in Germany, Matusiwa to Ipswich Town, and Grönbeck on loan to Genoa alongside Leo Ostigard as well. So they've been pretty busy. I'm curious to see what a strong defense was last season and where that kind of moves to this year. I do like the loan of Bertu Yildirim from Getafe in Spain. But we'll see also Fabian Rieder in from Stuttgart. So there's a lot of loanees that have come into the squad. We'll see what that ends up looking like. But still a team that I think certainly finished the year off. They were auto fade for a while in French Ligue 1, but improved big time since then. In terms of top three finish, looks like Rennes are 25 to 1. That's pretty long odds, equal with Nantes, which should not be there, I don't think. But double Strasbourg is interesting. And we'll go to Strasbourg next, currently 12 to 1 odds to finish top three. We'll start with, certainly they sold their goalkeeper, but Liam Rossignol is still back. Englishman still in Strasbourg for another season. They've spent a lot of money, so maybe that's why the number's where it is. Arrivals from their parent club, essentially. Chelsea has loaned Mamadou Sarr, center back. Panikeli coming in from, or Panichelli probably, coming in from Alaves in Spain. Don't know that name. Holzberg, don't know that one. Amagu don't. Barco, I do know because he had played at Sevilla for a little while. He seems to be a fullback midfielder. $10 million euros were spent to buy him from Brighton. In terms of departures, Habib Diarra has left for Sunderland. That's meaningful. Probably one of their most important players. Sarr, a center back, I guess, has been I guess bought by Chelsea, but then loaned back. Interesting. Probably some financial engineering there. Goalkeeper has been lost to Lens, and then not really much else. But good to see that Strasbourg are improving, and they've got a big crowd to think about. And I like that. 12 to 1 odds, pretty long right there. We'll move next to Marseille, currently minus 110 to finish top three. So one of the bigger threats to PSG, though. Are there any actual threats is the big question. They bought a little bit more than they've sold this year. So in comes Igor Paschal from Feyenoord, Facundo Medina on loan from Lens, Emil Højbjerg, who had been there from Tottenham. So I don't know. That's not from this year. Loan for Timothy Weah from Juventus is interesting, especially after his time at Lille, if I'm not mistaken. Angel Gomes, Angel Gomes, yeah, Englishman from Lille has moved on to free transfer. Those are cool. Luis Enrique gone to Inter Milan. That might hurt a little bit. Merlon to Rennes, Dedic, Rongier, and Ismail Kone going to Sassuolo in the Serie A. Might mean something, but to me, Marseille are always so deep. It just really depends what their manager does. Roberto De Zerbi, certainly one of the more talented, had great success at Brighton. But I'm not really looking to lock up anything favored or anything odds on favorite to finish top three. We'll next go to Monaco and then we'll get to PSG. Monaco minus 120 to finish in the top three position. So current manager Adi Hütter is still around, formerly of Eintracht Frankfurt, the Austrian. They have spent far less money. They've only spent 3 million euros so far reported, and brought in 23 million euros. So that's something. In comes Eric Dyer. Interesting. Don't really have much faith in him. Paul Pogba as well off of his suspension. Ansu Fati on loan for Barcelona. Lucas Radetsky in from Bayer Leverkusen, who has big mistakes in him. Not really that worried. Departures. Matsima to Augsburg. I do like that a little bit from an Augsburg perspective. Ismail Jakobs to Galatasaray. Mayeki to Stade Brestois. And then not a lot of names that you would really know have departed, but the names they brought in are famous ones, but we'll see what they actually get from them. And that's the biggest question because Monaco, to me, are a team I'd like to fade, but they do have some great runs in them where they win all the time. Now for the odds on favorite, long odds. Let's see how bad it is. They are there are lines out there without PSG even included, but to win 1 to 10 odds minus 1,000. So 1,000 win 100 US if you're into that sort of thing. Luis Enrique back to manage after an incredible season where they won Ligue 1 and they won Champions League and they won almost everything, almost the Club World Cup too. So all those sort of things, but didn't get all the way there. They spent 103 million euros. They've only sold 7 million, so they've only strengthened the squad, including Zabarny from center back, Ukrainian from Bournemouth, Lucas Chevalier, the goalkeeper of the future, and France's future from Lille, making them weaker as well. Though that's probably not a big thing. They're more worried about Europe. They did sell Milian Skriniar to Fenerbahce, but that was a move that was probably going to happen. And then the rest of everything has been loanees. So PSG, I'll say they're going to win the title this year. I know, really going out on a limb on this League Betting the Pitch podcast. So we're 28 minutes in. Thank you for the support watching this episode as we get ready for the season. I am planning to get a Spanish La Liga episode out, and then of course do the weekend preview. There is the Supercopa de Deutschland in Germany, German Super Cup. That I'll try to get to, as well as the opening weekend of the English Premier League plus Ligue 1 and La Liga. I don't know that I'm going to cover too much from the DFB Pokal nor the Coppa Italia early matches, but we'll see. If you got something that you'd like, hit me up at the real underscore G Warner across any social media platform, and I'll certainly be interested in doing it. Without relegation stuff, that's probably one of my bigger interests. So instead, I think I'll play around. I might as well mention just without PSG, Monaco plus 210 to win, I guess be runner up or just whatever if PSG's not included. Monaco 210, Marseille 240, Lille 4 to 1, Nice 7.5 to 1, Lyon 9 to 1, Lens 20 to 1, Strasbourg 3 to 1, Rennes 50 to 1, Toulouse 50 to 1, Nantes 66 to 1, and it gets really long from there. I think Nantes is a team I'm going to look to bet against if their futures are indicating where they're going to be priced. It probably won't because I don't know that the market is that tight on those sort of things. but we'll certainly be watching. I think when we talk about top three finishes, PSG, huge favorite. Monaco -120, Marseille -110. Lille at +150 is interesting. Lyon 250 certainly have the talent to match anyone. I do wonder about Frank Heis and his second season at Nice, how defensively, how much they improve. Lyons are great at home, but the road is a big portion, half of the games, so that might be a problem. Strasbourg 12-1 to finish in top three seems to be the value play if you're looking for long odds, if not Stade de Rennes or Rennes in here, 25-1 odds. But I think if you're looking for something to play, I think if you're looking for a top three currently offered at Bet Online, I think you look to Nice at 3-1 odds, a little bit more stability at that club, and that's where I'm going on this episode. So tune in, check me out, follow the Patreon, patreon.com/real_G Warner. Of course, slide in the DMs wherever you can, and I'll talk to you all very soon.